Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Glennda Baker, and I am a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia. And sit down and grasp tightly, because you aren't going to believe who's here with me today. I have Andy Florence, the CEO of CoStar. I am freaking out. Oh my, I'm you are a real estate agent, right?
Yeah, I was freaking out because here at Glennda.
Well, I love that. I love to hear that. So we've done some partnership. We've done some collaborations. I got to tell you, I'm a big fan, big fan of Homes.com and your product. So let's talk a little bit about your listing, your lead, because I'm super excited about that. But I've got some more stuff for you guys to be even more excited about down the road. So hang tight. Your listing, your lead. Talk to me.
Yeah, so obviously I've been in real estate marketplace and digital real estate for a while, and we're actually operate in a number of countries overseas. And I've always, for decades, I've always felt very strongly that an agent's name should be on their listing, whether it's an office building, a retail building, a home, whatever it is. The listing belongs to them. That agent knows that listing better than anybody else. And we would never in a million years dream of going into someone's listing where they have a physical sign out front and painting their name off the sign. And your sign on the internet has now replaced your sign on the lawn. 100% of home buyers are looking online for properties. About half of them find their dream home online. And so it's essential that the agent's name is there. And a lot of skeptics say we couldn't build a business model, a profitable business model, respecting your listing, your lead, and we're proving them wrong. And so it's not about just selling the one home. And it's not the dual agency. It's about having the agent's brand out there. And the leads that come off a sign are an essential sort of source of farming for buyer agency, referrals, the next listing. They come to winning the next listing down the road. So we're committed to it. It's what we've always done, and thrilled that it's actually working out and resonates.
Well, it is working very well, I got to tell you. But one thing that you said that I got to tell you, nothing makes my head spin around and snot fly out of my nose like when somebody contact agent and you go to somebody who's some totally random agent who doesn't know their head from a hole in the ground about 123 Banana Street. That's what blows my mind. And so I love the transparency and the direct, you click, you're getting the listing agent. And that listing agent, you're right, has more information than Rando Robert about 123 Banana Street.
Right. And you have to, we can't just pretend that real estate agents live in a vacuum. How the buyers perceive the process is important, and how the sellers perceive the transaction process is important. And it is, I spend a lot of time in focus groups where we have third parties gather together, buyers, sellers, agents, and we interview them without them knowing we're CoStar Group or anything like that. Buyers hate contact agent. They're all trained, don't hit contact agent, because they are just simply trying to learn a little bit of information about the listing. What school district is it in? Has it been renovated? And all of a sudden they're going down some sort of robocall call center hell and being hard sold something by somebody who's just reading the listing data back to them. Now, we're all for buyer agency,
right?
But I think you have to respect the seller's wishes and you have to respect the buyer's wishes, and they want that purity. And then the agents are the ones that should make the decision as to what they're doing with their listing leads.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Now, I got to tell you, I just heard about your buyer, your business. And I want you to know, I was so excited. I nearly danced down the street naked. I was so excited, like you cannot believe. Because
you could probably do that in Vegas
and get paid for it. No. Let's not digress. Anyway, so your buyer, your business, what I love about Homes.com is your buyer can put in 123 Banana Street and they get all of the information, the school, the community, the walkability, all of the pertinent information that if that buyer went into 123 Banana Street on Google, they'd go to 48 different websites, and your likelihood as an agent that you would lose that client is much higher, rather than if you put them in to this secure buyer portal, it really protects you, the agent, and also gives the buyer an amazing buyer experience, I think.
Yeah, it actually dramatically improves the shopping experience. So one of the things we were trying to do with that is, we have agents who are working with a buyer, and historically 70% of the time they don't have a formal written agreement while they're in that process. And the agents are saying, like, what is the best environment to meet my buyer online in a safe environment where they have great quality information, and where they won't be poached off all the time by Zillow Realtor. So because we're listing your lead, we don't sell off the leads.
Right.
We can do that. We just like, sure, if you're a buyer agent, you can connect with a buyer. You guys create a connection. One of the things I love is when the buyer comes into our site, once they're connected to a buyer agent, and they look at a property in New York City and you're the listing agent on it, they look at that same property, another property in LA, and you're a listing agent, you're the lead on everything. You're the contact. It's the way it is supposed to be, because once you're working in a buyer agency relationship, they should reach out to you to reach out to that listing. And the other cool thing is that we give the agent the ability to send recommendations that show up on the buyer's homepage of homes.com. And with permission, the agent can see what properties the buyer's favoriting. And if they keep telling you they're looking in Buckhead, but it actually turns out they're looking in Midtown, you can see that because you can see where they spend their time. So it's a better way for teamwork between the agent and the buyer in a safe environment. And I think not many people know about it right now, but it's one of my favorite features of the site.
Well, and that's what I want agents to understand. I have a lot of agents that follow me on social media. I think of myself as like the Dear Abby of real estate. Like, anything you want to know about real estate, I mean, I've been selling real estate since Jesus was a baby, for God's sake. Like, oh my gosh, I haven't even told you this story. Sit down. So back in 1999, 2000, I was the first homes.com account in Atlanta. Y'all had Glennda.com on my homes.com account, $49 a year for life.
Had Glennda.com.
I had Glennda.com.
Wow, that's a good URL.
I got pregnant, had my son, took a couple of years where I was not as active in real estate, and a biker gang got Glennda.com.
That is.
Can you believe that?
Well, maybe they'll move on and you get Glennda.com
You
again.
know, I've been trying to get Glennda.com back for like 15 years. It hadn't worked, but it's okay. But every time I think about homes.com, I think about you really were on the cutting edge of search portals. You really were on the cutting edge of featuring agents and really valuing agents. And what I love about your buyer, your business, is you're protecting the relationship for the agent, but you're creating a seamless shopping experience. I mean, I can set Bobby and Susie up on a search in my MLS, but it doesn't give them the school information, the community information. It doesn't give them the crime, so much that they're looking for. And homes.com has really created that seamless experience, I think.
Well, thank you. And we've worked really hard at it. We've had product design teams rethinking everything, completely new site, working countless hours. We have 280 software developers rebuilding it, and we have about 1,000 people working to collect content. So get engaging content about the schools, pictures of the parks, pictures of the restaurants, all the things that a home buyer is not just buying a home, they're buying a community, and we're offering that information for the agents to be able to engage their buyers in that environment on homes.com.
Well, I did a speech today about moving from service provider into relationship with your client, because now more than ever, the agent needs to be in relationship, because the service provider is replaceable. They're dispensable. Where that relationship that you create with your buyer or your seller, that is going to sustain your business over the long haul. And I want you to talk to me a little bit about exposure. I'm going on a listing appointment, and this is something that I heard you speak earlier, and you were talking about agents who choose to be featured on homes.com, through your paid membership, that they are winning the listing so much more. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's really amazing, and it's common sense, but no one's done it before. So what happens is with Homes.com, when someone becomes a member, their listings sort to the top, just like, and so they're seen much more often. You would think that when someone's looking for a property in Buckhead, they would look through every one of the 350 properties for sale in Buckhead. They do not.
No.
They go through page 1, page 2, page 3, and then they go to work. Right. So a disproportionate amount of the attention goes to the listings that sort to the top. And so our member agents listings sort to the top. And then all that great content we create about the neighborhoods, the schools, and the parks, well, we present the listings and the agents who are members next to that content. So when someone's reading about Buckhead, they see these agents do more work in Buckhead, and these are some of their listings. So what we're seeing is a member, on average, is getting seen 550,000 times a month on Homes.com, and then they are being then their competitors are being seen about 5,000 times. They're seen about 100 times more. So what that means is that their clients' listings are being seen, 50, 60, 70 times more than the competitors. The clients, the home seller, loves that. And they're being favorited by potential buyers 300% more. They're being shared several 100% more. We see that they are selling about 20% faster, and they're selling for a couple percentage points more. And so that's compelling to the home sellers. They understand that. They understand that the stuff at the top of Amazon sells more than the stuff on page 30. They understand that's how they shop everything in their lives. So they want their home to be front and center. And on a site like ours, where we have 148 million people come to the Homes.com network each month, that's a lot of eyeballs. And so what we've been looking at since we launched this service back in February is we've been comparing like sets of agents who are members versus how are they doing versus agents who are not members who have been historically about the same. And our member agents are getting 50% more listings and consistently. So we compare agents based upon, we sort of group them by agents that sell lower price houses, mid price houses, higher price houses, small cities, mid cities, big cities, agents that had a couple of listings a year, agents that had a bunch of listings a year. And in every one of 48 categories, our members are outperforming, are competing really well and winning 50% more listings. And it's a home run, because that means that right now the numbers suggest that our members are getting about 6 incremental new listings a year above what they were getting before, which is huge. And then I look at listings as a multiplier effect. Each time you get a listing, you get a chance to put your name out there in the market as being an expert in the market, and it's a message saying you're trusted by people as an expert in the market. So it actually, having listings generates the next sale listing. It also generates buyer agency. So very excited with the results. It's wonderful when a plan comes together and you're actually delivering the value you hoped you would deliver to your clients.
But you guys really put a lot of thought into the structure of the way that you wanted it to work. I mean, this isn't a random, A/B testing. This was really very thoughtfully put out. You have put a lot of people in research and discovery positions that have helped you build this.
Yes, and through the last 30 or 40 years, we've designed 10, 20 real estate related products. I think we've facilitated well over $1 trillion of transactions. So we're used to figuring out how do you help the buyer, the seller, the agent connect and do deals. So it's what we do best.
Yeah, I love that. So let's kind of unpack. And this is something that, when we did our first video, or when I did my first video, one thing that a lot of agents asked me is, you're listing your lead, your buyer, your business, a paid product. Homes Pro is free. There is no cost to that.
Yep.
You're listing you don't have to pay to get your listing.
Your listing your lead is universal, whether you pay us a dime or not.
Yep. Yeah. So, and that's what a lot of agents were like, oh, wait a minute, I've got to pay them. No. It's the membership is paid, But really what you're paying for, it sounds like to me, is exposure.
Yes.
And
You're at the front page of our publication. You're out, you're really prominent. You're seen across the internet. It's exposure.
right.
But your buyer, your business, and your listing, your lead is for everybody, every agent.
Yeah.
And Homes Pro is for agents, for every agent free.
Right. And this is what, you said something. You said people don't go to page 30. People are looking at page 1, page 2, page 3. We are in a generation of swipe right, swipe left.
We are.
We are in an Amazon Prime experience where you look at the things that are at the top and you get scrolling exhausted, I think.
Me too.
And so you're not going to go all the way down to page 30. It's just not the way that the consumer is searching online for anything, especially not for houses.
That's correct. There's one other element that is a fundamental truth of marketing on the internet. Yep. There's a second fundamental truth of marketing on the internet that no other site is doing, that we're only doing, which is somebody I was searching at one point for a townhouse near our headquarters in Richmond, and I saw a townhouse, looks good, the phone rings, and I go off to whatever. Nobody would see my interest. No, none of the websites or portals were seeing my interest in a property and then reminding me when I was on CNN or when I was on ESPN. What we're doing is, just look at some data. Typical agent, we identify about 10,000 people who've engaged in their listing at a more engaged level. And then we will typically catch those 10,000 people 12 more times on the internet as they move around. So we keep the agent, they're more likely to see the agent's property at the top of the sort list. And then when that consumer fades away, they keep seeing that agent's picture in their listing again, again, again. And that frequency is critical for successful marketing.
Ding, ding, ding. You hit the nail on the head. And I wear stars we were meant to be together. With your logo and my stars, we were meant to be together.
CoStars.
I love it. I love it. But I'll tell you, I Google star sweater. I look for star sweaters everywhere, no matter where I go. And they follow me around. The best marketing is that retargeting, because I left it, I put it in the shopping cart, I didn't get it, but I'll be doggone if I didn't go over here to CNN or wherever, and that darn star sweater showed up again. And you actually figured out how to do this with homes, which is so critical, not only for the buyer to stay engaged with that product, but also for the listing agent to have that exposure for their listing.
Yes, for sure. Right. And for the seller to have super confidence. I tell you, there's nothing that a seller loves more than when they go to NewYorkTimes.com and they see their home and their agent's picture above the banner NewYorkTimes.com. At that point, they have super high confidence in their agent. And and for the agent to try to do that, not possible, because you need to spend $1 billion in marketing in order to find out who everyone is and who's actually actively searching.
So I've got a question for you. That $1 billion that you invested, that's a truckload of money. Did you know in your heart, this is what we're supposed to do? When I spend this money, I know that in X number of months, X number of time, I'm going to get a result. Did you just feel it from your core?
Well, we are a publicly owned company, and we have a broader range of investors who are important members of our team, and that they have confidence in us, and they support us when we make these investments. I take our commitment to being a good steward of their money very seriously. And I tell you, honestly, when we're launching something like this, I do wake up an hour earlier every morning with thinking, oh my gosh, I got to get to work. But one of the things that's made us successful is we look carefully at the market. We see that perhaps there's a real deficiency. Something's not happening in the market that should be happening. We do lots of focus groups. We're really careful. We trial the products. We mock them up. We show them to tons of agents and buyers and sellers. And when we're highly confident we got a winning idea, we bet big. And we bet big on multi-year investments that, would scare the heck out of a lot of people. But one of the things I think, not to be arrogant, but I think I've earned some trust from our investors who will give me a couple of years to prove something out. And honestly, the most exciting thing I've seen after we were 2 or 3 years into this mega investment is when I start seeing the results for these listing agents that are just home run. And I'm hearing about a couple listing agents who are having wild success on this. And okay, it's going to work. It's working.
Yeah.
Now it'll take a couple of years to break even, but it's worth it.
Yeah. It's like when you paid for all those lessons for your kid for baseball.
And then they're in Paris at the Olympics.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're like, yes.
All those early mornings.
So I've got a little tagline for you, and I think you're going to love this. I think that it's #GoBigAndGoHomes.com. Don't you love that?
I like that.
I thought that was no charge for that tip.
I like that.
Okay, so we're going to close it out. If there's anything, what is it? If there's one thing that you could tell the real estate community, the real estate agent community, what is it that you want to tell them about what's different and why every real estate agent should be utilizing homes.com?
Well, I think for me, the number one thing that is different is we understand the market pretty well. We understand agents pretty well. I think I've mentioned my mom was an agent, my brother's an agent. And I'm really proud that we have built something that is harmonious with the agent's interests without alienating or short selling the buyer or without alienating or short selling the seller. So I think we have a business here that actually works with the interests of the agents, the sellers, and the buyers, and is simply a better way for real estate to be marketed on the internet. And the thing that's the most exciting is we're putting the emphasis on the most important thing, which is it's about selling that home. That's what the buyer wants. That's what the seller wants. Ultimately, that's what the agent wants. And that becomes our first priority. And I know a lot of people don't understand what I'm doing right off the bat, but I think they will. Stay tuned, watch. This is a better mousetrap, and it's working. And I think the agents are going to be really happy with what this looks like going forward.
I think that you are exactly right. I have to tell you, I know a lot of agents fear being replaced by search portals. And you're right. Michael Jordan would have never, ever been replaced if he hadn't aged out,
Right.
I always say I'm the Michael Jordan of real estate. And my stars, I forgot to talk to you about that Super Bowl stuff. Oh my gosh, you sent me this box. It was amazing. Have you seen my shirt? Where are my shirts? Where are my shirts? Where are my shirts? Did you show them to him? Yeah. Okay. Have you seen my shirt?
I have not. Does it have a star on it?
You're going to die. Oh my gosh. But the Super Bowl, you spent a truckload of money. But I have to tell you, I loved those. You sent me this box. I wore my jersey. It was fantastic.
Well, what you were saying earlier about relationships matter. It can't just be a service provider. It's a relationship business.
Right.
In the 38 years I've been in business, every single year, I appreciate that more and more and more. So first and foremost, it's building relationships. And frankly, it's wonderful when you can be in the business for decades and then your clients are genuine friends. Even after they retire, you still keep in touch with them. It's the best way to do business, right? And it's actually the most profitable way to do business.
And it's actually the most cost-effective way to do business.
To keep a client.
I always would get worked up about the bank that would give the new client the toaster, the new account holder the toaster, but not me, who had been there for 20 years. I didn't get a toaster. And I think that you're exactly right. Holding on to that client, moving into relationship with that client. And for you, you're building clients with agents, with buyers and sellers through their experience with homes.com.
And agents, the wonderful thing about agents, the ones I know, tend to be in the business and become lifers. So what better industry to make relationships with people, because those relationships are there for decades.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's not even like work. I love it so much. I would do it for free probably. Don't tell anybody. But, I wake up, I never ever think that I'm
very unpopular at 0% commission.
Very, very, very. Thank you so much. I cannot believe that I had the opportunity to sit down with you. I am honored.
Well, I am actually totally honored. It's my favorite thing, and the chance to talk to you about it is a treat.
All right, bring me my shirt. Look, have you seen these?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Do you know that I own 123bananastreet.com?
I did not know that.
It goes to my website.
I love it.
Yeah, I said 123 Banana Street, and I guess your team said, this sounds really good. We're going to start using it.
I love it. I heard it a while ago. You started saying it.
Oh my God, I've said it for years.
Yeah, I love it. 123 Banana Street. No one forgets it.
No, and no one forgets it. And there's actually a 123 Banana Street, not in Atlanta, but somewhere in Iowa. And but I think that it is like Bobby and Susie. It is your everyday buyer and seller. And I'm not selling $250 million penthouses. I'm not selling $50 million houses. I'm selling houses to Bobby and Susie, the average Joe, the everyday buyer and seller.
The middle of the market.
Exactly. And I want my clients to have that seamless shopping experience with me and with you.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Love the shirt.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We've got one for you.
Oh, good. I'm going to go out to Iowa and wear it in front of those people's houses and really freak them out.
I love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, my name is Glennda Baker. I am a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia. Send me a text, tag me in a post, give me a call. That's what I love the most, because I'd love the opportunity to talk real estate with you today. See ya.